Hey everyone, this is Christine bringing you another Rover release update. This information is going to be live following the release of Sprint 98, that's version 3.7 of Rover Standalone. So what I'd like to do is walk you through a couple stories and kind of help you understand what's changing in this release. So just to get started, we are enabling the ability to move negative balances to the AR module in Rover. So what does that mean exactly? What we're going to allow you all to do is essentially credit payments in the AR module so that that credit can then be allocated to an invoice with a balance. So let me show you what that looks like just getting started. Here we have our in-house reservation. You can clearly see that I have linked this reservation with the company card Stay in Touch CC, and as always the routing note will appear here indicating that I have set up direct bill. So I'm going to just open up my bill and charges and show you what my bill windows look like. So here we have my standard, whatever payment I have on file for the guest. In this case, it's a cash payment. It could be a check, could be a credit card. And then the way I've set up my direct billing with Stay in Touch CC is that my direct bills are being sent to bill window 2 as well as bill window 3. Now, bill window 2, you can clearly see I have a negative balance here indicating that there's a refund that I need to account for. So from bill window 2, what I'm going to start by doing is selecting Pay. I do want to post room charges in this example. And it's going to ask me how much would I like to apply to this direct bill. That looks correct. Click Refund. Paying to direct bill will close this bill and transfer all transactions to AR. Pay to direct bill, that's exactly what I want to happen, so I'm going to click Pay to direct bill. And we're done there. So what I'm going to do now is I have a second tab where I've just opened up the company card. You can see that guest balance dropped down to 0. And then if I open up the company card, review my AR transactions, you'll see right here is my reservation, Marzia de Coco, and that balance of negative $33 has been applied immediately to the balance tab. The negative sign here indicates that it is a refund, unlike the invoice above it where this is a payment, and we actually have a secondary refund located at the very top of this list. But for this example, what I want to show you next is to select these orange chevron arrows to reveal the Move to Credit button. And the Move to Credit button is where we're going to finalize moving this to the unallocated tab. So here you see we have our list of options. Move to Credit is this new button. It does only appear where there is a negative balance, so I won't see a Move to Credit button here. And you will also see it here. Again, negative, you have the ability to move to credit. For Marzia's invoice, what I'm going to do is click Move to Credit. And this invoice is going to disappear as it just did, and now it's located under the Unallocated tab. And now I have this AR manual credit. This is that credit again, $33. I can still see that it was associated with this reservation. There's a reference number, so I can always keep track of this information. But if I wanted to, I could proceed to allocate this money to a new balance. What you're not going to want to do is under the balance tab is to allocate it to a already refunded credit. So I would want to make sure that I refunded that to this value where there's no negative. While it's not going to pay off the whole value, I am going to start to chip away at this amount of money that is owed. So I will go ahead and select that. So I'm going to proceed to apply to this payment. Since I cannot pay off the total value because my number, the $33, is less than that, I'm going to have to adjust this to be $33.92, or it could be less than that if I wanted, but again, you can't apply more than the amount that you have. And then I'm going to choose Pay Selected. And boom, that value is deducted, my unallocated has gone down, and we're set. So what I would also like to show you is under the journal, just so that you can see where this is recorded. So from the journal, by default, I'm going to be taken to my most recent end of day balance, but what I want to look at is today's date, since this is where this activity is going to be recorded for under March 7th. I'm going to click my orange chevron arrows to reveal additional actions that have occurred and fall under the AR balance ledger. And I'm going to go ahead and proceed a few pages to locate my adjustment. And you see that right here. We have my note adjustment for manual credit, the reservation it's associated with. And regarding this note, this is an important step that you're going to want to make sure that gets set up before you attempt to do this on your own. But under our sidebar menu, if we choose settings, there's just a quick two-step setup that I want you all to be mindful of. So we're going to proceed to financials and charge codes. And for most of your properties, what you're going to want to do is create a brand new charge code. You'll say something like AR manual credit, or however you'd like to define it in your system. Under the charge group, I'm just going to choose other. And then under charge code type, you're going to notice there's a new value here, AR manual credit. Since that's exactly what we're doing, you will notice that that's an option for you to select now. And then I'm going to go ahead and save changes, and that has successfully been saved. If I want to look it up, I'll find it here as well. Now for part 2, we're going to go back under financials, under accounts receivables, and then under this manual credit charge code, you're going to need to specify the charge code that you just created. So for my example, I would be choosing AR manual credit if I didn't already have the following configured. So if I try to change this, let me just show you what will happen. I'm going to get an error message. That is because I have reservations already in my system that have been linked to the AR credit. As a safeguard to prevent errors from users potentially changing this too often or from changing it when it's not necessary, because I already have reservations associated with this charge code in Rover, I'm not going to be able to change this. So if you'll recall, when I first came to this page, AR credit was selected, and as you all know, I just showed you an example of using this charge code, so very clearly this is still an active charge code that I would not be able to change. And this should help you all with moving those negative balances to a credit in AR so that you can then allocate that credit to a different invoice. So just make sure you save your changes, and hope this helps you all. Stay tuned for future updates. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.